Yeah, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody around the world. My name is Mario Sommer and I welcome you to our session, How to Build a Pool. We are sending from Wiesbaden in the middle of Germany, and I hope you have a good time now within the next 60 minutes. And it's great that you take time to watch us now, to listen and see what we do, how to build a pool. Well, my name is Mario Sommer, like I told you already, and I'm responsible in the Sopro world for the technical service and everything which belongs to it. And I will lead you to this session. This is a live session. You have the chance to ask questions now in the chat, so feel free to ask everything you want when it has to do with, of course, swimming pool projects. And we will try to answer all your questions. Today, we will do a very practical session. And in the past, you have already had some theory sessions with Sebastian, which is on my side. And so today we will show you everything which will happen on the construction site itself. I will not do this by myself. I have some very good experts on my side. Even in their free time, they are dreaming about pools and pool buildings and everything which has to do with it. You have already met Sebastian. He is also a colleague of mine. He is responsible for the technical department of Sopro. And Johannes, now you see the bodies. You have seen you had the voices a couple of weeks in a Teams meeting. Now you see the beautiful bodies of them. And whenever you need them on the construction site, feel free. Robert, he is from AGROB Buchtal. He is the expert when it comes to ceramic material. He knows everything about ceramics and what is necessary to build up a pool with the ceramic. And Dirk, of course, from Dr. Nüsken. For me, he is the best chemist in Germany when it comes to swimming pool water. He has always an answer when there's something going wrong. He has always an answer when it is coming to cleaning processes. So feel free to ask us, to ask the experts when it comes to everything which has to do with pools. Well, we have not much time. Sebastian, I will give the word to you now because we want to go through the different steps, what is necessary to build up a pool. And we want to see, we have prepared a lot of different situations here, what is necessary to do everything so that the architect and the owner, of course, later on is happy to be with the pool project. On the backstage, my two colleagues, Arne and Andy, they are the craftsmen who do the practical work. You will see them later on. They will sweat a little bit, and but they will show you everything what's necessary to work with the products. Sebastian, please.
Yeah, Mario, thank you for your words. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sopro show. Very good to have you here. Remembering back some weeks ago, we had the theoretical training about everything, how to build pools, and now we have the practical show. So no big theoretical things because this is already done, and we start with everything practical. First of all, we show some nice samples which we have here, just to show you what we are talking about today, because what you see here, it's a complete system, what we are offering. And of course, we are talking about ceramic tiles. That's the topic of Robert. He will help me with this one. And yeah, we are talking about our complete Sopro system, which is based on a concrete subconstruction. This is very important. We need a stable and secure substrate. Then we start, because the concrete is not very even, very often we start with the pool leveling, a pool plastering material, very special, works in underwater condition, but as you see here, our favorite is to get the complete pool waterproof, that we have no leakage, even if it's a waterproof concrete pool. Very often there are cracks in the construction, and yeah, customers or pool house owners are complaining that there's a leakage and they have loss of water. And our system is based everything about tiles, mosaics, natural stones, ceramic tiles. This is what we're talking about today. And as you see, you need different working steps here, different materials, and we will go through our presentation today what you need to think and to consider about that you get your pool safely done. Yeah. And yeah, we have some nice samples here. What you see here, it's a little bit different. So Robert, maybe you can help me by the general construction. What is your favorite? Is there a favorite for you, or what is the difference?
The Finland system, because as you can see that we have a lot of different pool systems, but on the end we have one pool. There's water in it, that's all. But why we have so much different edge systems? It's very simple. It depends on the use of the pool. So, for example, when we have Finland system, it's more or nearly always used in competition pools. The reason is, you see, there's a slope here on the pool edge, and that helps us to break the waves. When the waves are coming, generated by the swimmers, they go here over the edge into the channel, and they go very smooth into the channel, so you have no backcoming waves. So it's perfect for competition pools, but need a huge of space. So on the other side, we have a Wiesbaden.
Welcome to Wiesbaden.
Welcome to Wiesbaden. It's only the name comes from Sopro now, but okay. And this is more used for leisure pools, for children pools, and so on, because there's not so big pool edge or not that much of concrete.
More narrow,
it's smaller, yeah. And it's very quick to install. You can imagine 3 tiles here, only 1 piece here, so it's very quick. But on the end, it's limited with the channel size, with the volume of the channel. So it depends how much water comes into the channel, how much people are inside the pool. Then it makes sometimes sense to change the system, because here we have 1 piece on the Wiesbaden channel, and you can modify that. And that is on the end, the beginning, what is the required channel size, how many people are calculated, are in the pool, and so on. And then we start with the choosing of the pool edge system, and then we start with the concrete. That's the base. And also then it comes sometimes when we talk about, for example, children pools, we have as well special solutions, because when you have the regular Wiesbaden one, there's a point, but there's a high risk for stumbling inside the pool. And to reduce that, we can offer that as well, for example, as a system where we have no edges, and because also when you have children pools, they're not that depth, so there's not required that you have a handheld possibility. But the important point is at first choose the right system, and then continue with the planning of all the concrete work.
That's the first question, choosing the right system, because as you see here, for the complete concrete, it's a difference by the complete concrete design.
Yes,
and the walls, the measurements and everything else.
Completely. You have alternatives. When we talk, for example, you see that here, the Finland system, and we see here the different edges. Why we have an edge here? Usually it's, well, 1 slope, that's all. But I will show you that with a small sample. Oh, look,
over here?
Oh, over here. No, I have stored that here, but not a big problem. As you can see, this tile is 25 millimeters. This tile is 15 millimeters. There's the difference in the size, and that's the reason why we need this edge.
And that's already a question. Is there, for the architects mainly, do they have to prepare already the concrete? So because of the different thicknesses of the tiles?
The thickness of the tile is always important, but because you can have that as well in 8 millimeters. But on the other side, then you have, I don't know, 2.5, 3 centimeters of water below. That makes no sense. So that's the thing. Choose the right pool edge system, then start with the concrete work or the drawings for the concrete work, and then we continue.
And that's a really good topic for our next sample, because as you see here, you need concrete preparation, but the concrete will never be that even that we can directly apply the tiles. So we need to do something with the concrete. First of all, we start checking the concrete surface. Is it okay? Is it stable, or do we need to do something? And the answer normally is, we need to do something, because it's never that okay that we can directly start. So first of all, you need to check your concrete, and I like really these simple tools. They are really expensive pull-off machines, also okay to test, but I really like the simple ones, like a steel brush, where you can check is the substrate okay, is there something on cement on it, or you can tap with a hammer and if here is there maybe a loose area, something which is not connected to the concrete, you need to remove. And of course, the complete concrete should be grinded. Maybe this is like a kid's tool, and on the big job sites, construction sites, we need a big grinding machine or high pressure water plastering, sand plastering to remove the skin of the concrete. This is really important. And then we start with primering. I think you know how to primer it with our 749 primer, and then we start with the plastering. And the plastering is also a complete system, which you see here. We have a notch trowel of our #1 tile adhesive, and we need this to get a very good and intense connection with the plastering, which we show you now. Arne is in charge and he's ready. He already has mixed our Schwimmbadputz SPP 474 pool plaster. This is a special material because it doesn't contain any free lime materials. So lime materials, when they get wet, they maybe cause a loss of force, a loss of power for the material. So the Schwimmbadputz SPP pool plaster, it doesn't have any lime content. Yeah, completely cement-based, fiber reinforced, really easy to work with, and we do this directly in the hardened out notch trowel tile adhesive. We recommend like an 8 millimeters of notch trowel where we can get a good connection. Arne's doing that, and my colleague Andreas, he's on top on the pool head, because very often the pool head is not as high as it should be. And this is very important to check and to measure before you start maybe your waterproofing work. And here we found out, okay, the pool head, the concrete is not in the right height. It needs to be higher, maybe some centimeters. You can use the Schwimmbadputz, the pool plaster as well, but also you can use this Rapidur M5, a material which we really like. This is just for horizontal areas. And this is our fast setting screed also for pools, for underwater areas, for height levelings and stuff. Yeah, you see here it's a little bit more drier than the plaster. Has a very thin grain up to 4 millimeters. And as you see here, we use this wet in wet with a BH primer. Yeah, maybe you can get this into the camera here. This is a resin primer, 2-component. Yeah, just mixed before. And this is accepting high water impact. So we use this wet in wet with the Rapidur M5 screed. Yeah, and the M5 screed is very fast setting. So after 1 day, you can make the next working steps like waterproofing. And what the people, the craftsmen really like is that it's really nice to smoothen out to get a really nice finished surface. Yeah. Yeah, so Andreas is showing it just using the trowel, and you can really smoothen the surface really nice, as well as we did with the Schwimmbadputz here. So we get a really nice closed, smooth surface. Another nice thing maybe to consider is our reinforcement mesh, which we have here. Yeah. So if you maybe have an unstable substrate, a concrete with a lot of cracks, maybe something went wrong, this is an option to do. It's not part of the general system, but it's an option to put this mesh into the SPP pool plaster to reinforce it, to make it even stronger against cracks. Yeah. And what else to know about the pool plaster? You can use this up to 3 centimeters of thickness. So more or less it's enough. Yeah. We recommend a calculation like 10 millimeters in average size, average thickness. And with the M5, you can do even more. So we use this very often for the pool bottoms. Wet and wet with the resin primer, you can use it from 1 centimeters up to 10 centimeters in height. Yeah, so it's a lot of height difference which you can do. Yeah, especially if maybe for kids pool, which you can model the material in slopes and everything you need. Yeah. So this is very important. You need to do this before that the complete substrate is prepared, and then you can start the next works. Yeah.
Okay, we got a question already belonging to the tiles. I guess somebody saw this picture here, and we got the question, which is an often question, which is a question which everybody is asking very often: can backside fixed mosaics be used underwater? What would you say, Robert?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay. Clear. Yes.
But usually, nearly all leaflets or technical descriptions told us it's only allowed when you have a face side bonded mosaic with paper or with a film, whatever.
Exactly.
But if you have, because the main problem is always the glue where the net is fixed on the mosaic. So this is a face-side bonded mosaics. But our mosaics, we use a special system called thermoplastic solution. In this case, we use a warm glue to fix the net on the backside. And we have a certification that it is allowed to use that in underwater or permanently wet areas.
But this is especially for your company.
This is a special solution of AGROB. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that we have to say that also loud. You have to talk to your producer of the mosaic if it is possible or not. Okay. And then you can use it underwater also. Okay. Thank you, Sebastian.
Yes. So we're coming to the next
step.
To the next topic. And yeah, the next topic is everything about waterproofings. And before we start to get the whole pool waterproof, yeah, we need to check the details. And as you know, maybe in a modern pool, it's not a square meter left without any tube coming out for water bubbles, air, breathing stuff, maybe sound, lights, everything is going through the concrete. So this is those areas, they need to be focused very clearly, because maybe if a problem appears, very often it's not in the normal square meter area, it's where the details are. So we need to check for the tubes. And our favorite, and this is also written in the German guidelines for pool buildings, we need a flange. Yeah, and this flange should be made with PVC material, very stable material, very good to get a connection to. Yeah, we show you how to do this. Needs to be 5 centimeters wide at least. Yeah, this is a very important measurement, 5 centimeters wide. And yeah, we show you how to prepare that flange now. I pass this one to you. Very important is maybe that you have some tapes around, that you don't make the concrete or everything around dirty or so, yeah, to clean this. Then we need a sandpaper, like 80 or 60 grain sandpaper, roughen this. Then we need some acetone to clean this greaseless, yeah. And then we are back with our resin primer, like our BH 869, yeah, this one. Show this into the picture, yeah. So this is again 2-component, as I said, and just brush it out. Take care for your hand gloves, take care for your eye protection, and it's liquid, but you can also use it floor and wall. Doesn't run down. So this is our preparation for the flanges, and then because then it gets too, maybe the surface gets too not to get a good connection for, so we sand this off with our sand QS 511 to get a very rough surface, like a sandpaper surface. That's very important. What else on options do we have? So we have also, we accept stainless steel flanges and red bronze, which is not so common, which is a little bit older, yeah. But PVC, red bronze, stainless steel flanges would be okay. Take really good care not to use PE, PP, or ABS flanges. This material, maybe it's cheaper, you find it a lot in maybe private pools, but there's no chance for epoxy, polyurethane, cement-based products to get a connection to. Yeah, so this will fail. Take care, PVC, stainless steel, red bronze. What options do we have if there's no flange? In the meantime, yeah, there are flanges which you can adjust later on the tube, on the maybe light outlet. You see here, there are some drillings in here for the screws. There's a rubber membrane to get it waterproof. And this could be installed on the existing in the concrete mounted tube, for example. Yeah, then it should be filled on the backside with epoxy that we don't have any vibrations. Yeah. So this is already primered. What can we do if we don't have a flange? Would be this method. As you see here, now we are on the floor and we make, this is our plan B, so to say, the second best option. If we don't have a flange, we can make a man-made flange on the construction site with our resin, again, BH or our EPG resin primer, with 2 different types of sand. The QS 511 and the very thin, it's more or less like a dusty sand, KQS 607. You see here, this is very, very thin sand, and the other one is quite rough. Yeah. And these two together, they make a, they fill each other, yeah. And the rest of the voids, the rest of the air inside is filled with the resin. And then we get a complete waterproof block, epoxy based. You see here our BH again, already mixed, 2-component. So this is, yeah, capillary tight block. This is our BH again, 2-component, already mixed. This is important. Don't mix everything together with the sand. Mix the resin first, very important. Then QS 511, and then the other sand. Yeah, and then we mix all together with the drilling machine. Again, take care for your eye protection, skin protection. So you can make your mortar by yourself by adjusting the ratio of resin and sand. And the ratio we have here is 1 liter of resin, 1 liter of 511, and 1 liter of KQS, the fine sand. So the ratio of resin to sand is 1 to 2 in volume. Yeah, 1 liter of resin and 2 liters of sand, and this gets you producing you a capillary closed block, yeah, epoxy block, which is shrink free, has a very good connection to PVC, stainless steel, red bronze, so you can fill this around tubes. Also, we do this sometimes when we have a flange and we need to fill out something on top of a waterproofing. You can use this as well, and after 1 day it's ready. You can sand the surface a little bit off, and then you can overlap with your waterproofing. Yeah, so we have a waterproof connection to the tube, and then we have a waterproof overlap with the waterproofing product later on. Yeah, so this is our plan B. Yeah. Very helpful.
I see we have like a very complicated situation. What would your recommendation for the architects? Because we have the concrete, we have like a lot of different attractions which need to be connected into the concrete.
Yeah.
And later on we need the membrane which needs to be connected to the different lamps and pipes and whatever is in the pool.
Yeah.
So what would you say to start very early to bring all the partners together in a meeting, so that everybody knows what kind of attraction will be in the pool? Absolutely. And the connection will be easily done later on with the waterproofing membrane?
Yeah, I think this is one of the key parts. Yeah, to bring all the experts together, or expert for the tubes, expert for water quality, expert for tiles, waterproofing, concrete, all the craftsmen, and start talking before you do the concrete. Because if the concrete is done already, that maybe it gets costly to do other solutions, or you maybe starting doing things wrong. So very important to get all the people together and talk. Yeah, that's.
Okay, now you have prepared the water membrane.
Yeah, so after we prepared our details, with the flanges and stuff like that, then we go over one small detail again. Maybe very often we have these channel tube boxes here, where the channel tile later on is mounted on. Take really good care. They look quite big, but at the end, also here, we need 5 centimeters of flange. So you see, there's only a smaller part in the middle, but it is adjustable, but not as big as you maybe think. Yeah, so take care not to drill somewhere else. Take a good measurement where to put your channel tile later on. Yeah, very important. Yes,
to that drain boxes. We, as a producer, as ceramic, we always recommend these boxes.
Yes.
Because we know during the concrete work, when there's only tubes in it, they switch the position a little bit.
With the tube, it's even more complicated. Yeah. And so the box offers you a good flexibility. Yeah.
And when you then have the outlet piece of the channel, so when it does not is direct on the right point, then we have a big problem. So in this case, I can show you that.
You have an adjustability.
Yeah. You can move that a little bit forward, backward, left, and right. That helps us as well on the end, the tiler, to do that very easily.
Because you need this. If you come back to this sample here, very often maybe you think you calculate with 10 millimeters, but at the end the concrete is not so in the right shape. You need maybe 3 centimeters, and then everything gets more out. And then you need a little bit of adjustability for the channel drain, where to put it on. And this is very nice with the box. So now we come to the waterproofing works. We mixed already a product which is fast setting. So Arne is he wants to start now. This is our most favorite product for waterproofing in a pool. The name is Sopro TDS 823. Maybe we can get the bucket into the picture. It's a 2-component cement-based waterproofing. Very easy to work with, but fast setting. So take care. Your time is okay. You start working and don't make a break, secret break. You have to start working. It's applied with a notch trowel. We recommend a 6mm notch trowel. You can also do, and this is our favorite if we have a really big construction site, a really big pool construction site, with a spraying machine. And then you're really, really fast. And the notch trowel is then flattened and smoothed. And this is the first layer. And if you maybe know already, one layer is not enough because maybe there's a part missing or so. In a normal wet room, it's said 2 layers. We recommend in an underwater pool area 3 layers of this cement-based waterproofing. The special of the TDS is it's, as I said, fast setting, and you can do after 2 days of drying, 48 hours, you can do a filling test, which we come to later. So it's really saves you a lot of time, and maybe we come to the times later on for summarize. And this is really nice, and accepts also a very deep pool with high water pressure. Another product, quite new, is 1 component. This is our DSF RS 623, which we have here in a small bucket. This is maybe for the kids pools, but we have it also, don't worry, in a 20-kilo bucket and in a 10-kilo bucket. But this is for some details, so only 2. This is 1 component, so you can mix this with water and adjust your viscosity, how you like it. Also sprayable, longer open time, so a little bit easier for the craftsman to work with. So you don't have to hurry so much, but it's also tested for underwater areas according to the German testing certificates, underwater areas and pools, bedrooms, balconies, outside areas as the same. So this is a little bit up to you. I would recommend if the construction site is a little bit time critical, take the TDS. TDS is always our favorite, also in flexibility, the most crack bridging material. 2 options. There's another option, a third one. This is our polyurethane material, polyurethane waterproofing. I would say this is, of course, the most expensive, and for the craftsman, more complicated to work with. 2-component, resin-based, so really important to mix it properly. And needs an epoxy primer before, also needs 3 layers. When do we take this material? When we have maybe concrete aggressive water, maybe high salt content, maybe in a thermal bath house. Every time where we need a cement aggressive, where we have cement aggressive water, we take this because this is chemical resistant. And or sometimes if the owner wants a really, really intense flexible material, this is the first choice then. But requires a quite dried and not a moist substrate. Also really important, more things to check also for humidity and temperature. A little bit more complicated to work with. So our first choice is normally cement-based waterproofings, easier to work with, easier to handle, less maybe errors or mistakes that can be done on the construction site, easier to do.
Sebastian, one question from the construction side is always the thickness of the layers.
Yes.
Could you say some words about that?
Depends on the product. In general, the cement-based product, they're tested with 2 millimeters. In underwater areas, we recommend 2.5. That's our recommendation, to have 3 layers. In normal wet rooms, 2 layers is okay. And it should be checked. There's several options how to check it. We come to one specific check method later, but the easy one is during it's wet. We have a small tool, and you can scratch through the waterproofing, and you can measure the thickness.
That would be the job of the craftsman right away.
Just to, or maybe you calculate how much kilogram per square meter we need to do. And the other one is later on, after hardened out, you cut out a small piece, check it, measure it slightly, take care, it's flexible, you can compress it. And then you can use this sample for your, for the pool house owner, for the documentation, for example. Yeah, and then don't forget to overwork the cut it out area. Yeah, we had this already. So, and we show you just some details. The normal area is not so complicated. For the details, flanges, for example, we have a small mesh we cut into some pieces. It's quite flexible. This helps us as a crack bridging to put over where the flange ends in that area. Yeah. So Arne is doing the waterproofing over the flange. Überall drüber machen. And then we put in these mesh, which is the number 562, Sopro number 562, just to have a reinforcement. More crack bridging makes the waterproofing even more flexible. Yeah, more crack bridging, and helps us to avoid maybe cracks. Yeah, if there's maybe not a good attachment between the PVC and the concrete, makes it even more secure. Yeah. So normally we start with this working step, and then after every detail is prepared, then we go into the normal area and do the rest of the works. Yeah. We can use this mesh also if we have a overlap between the walls, or we have edges, critical edges, like from the pool bottom to the pool floor. We have a small mesh inside of the waterproofing. We only use tapes like our AEB tape if we have really a movement joint, like in between. Maybe Arne, you have the mesh here, the tape. Show me. Thank you. Yeah, we have this tape here, which is very flexible. The AEB tape. Yeah, very flexible, very crack bridging, and absorbs a lot of movement. We only need this when we have a movement joint, for example, between the pool head and the pool surrounding. Yeah. Or sometimes if we have maybe later added concrete block, like concrete stairs in the pool, they are not connected really with the concrete of the pool. Very often we have some cracks here, bigger cracks. And then we do the tape and overwork them completely with the TDS, for example.
Sebastian, a very interesting question came in. To guarantee the thickness of the membrane,
yes,
would it be good to use the mesh all over the complete area?
Yeah, you still can do to less thickness, including the mesh, but the mesh can help a little bit. Yeah, it helps you, but it's not a guarantee that you got the thickness. Yeah, it helps you. We did it already in critical substrates when we had some older pools with more cracks. We didn't know exactly what the concrete is doing. Then we included the mesh completely in the waterproofing, and then our recommendation would be in the first layer and overwork it then again. Yeah. So it helps you a little bit, but it's not our standard general recommendation.
Okay. One question from a working step before. Maybe we can go back to this scenery
plaster
with the camera.
Yeah.
Because we got a question about the preparation with number one,
yes,
for example.
Yeah.
Does it make, is it okay to do it this way, or do we give any recommendation how to do it?
Here they did it quite horizontal. On the construction site, you will find some disoriented rows, but that doesn't matter exactly how to do it. Important is that you do it, that the trowel is thick enough that that it looks out, and the trowel or the tile adhesive needs to harden out. It needs to be very strong. We recommend at least 48 days for the number one tile adhesive, which is normal setting. And if you need to hurry up, you can take our number one fast or number one silver tile adhesive. Then you can do it after 12 hours, much faster. Yeah. And to come back to the pool plaster, this system is also very fast. When you apply it, then on the next day you can start working with waterproofing. Yeah, it's very fast. You save a lot of time on your construction site.
Okay, I think Swimmer is very sticky and will connect very good into the notches.
Yeah, this is about the connection and that we don't get cracks or stuff like that.
Okay, well, now we are done with our waterproofing membrane, and in Germany it's very common to do a proofing, and that means 2 weeks of water will be in the pool, and now we need Dirk, because we have very bad experience sometimes in our construction sites that frogs and some leaves and whatever is already swimming in these
Water
pools.
gets green, yeah, by the filling test, yeah, for the filling test.
We always get the question afterwards, the water needs to be taken out. What is to do now? Because just putting the tiles on the slimy surface is not so good, because later on there will be the big problems.
Yes, okay. It could be the start of the problems for the future. So well, in Germany, it's recommended to use a filling test, and as you told, 2 weeks, and so on. It would be good to chlorinate the water with, for example, when the water treatment is already finished, then you can use the devices of the water treatment, but often they are not ready. So you can use products like liquid chlorine, sodium hypochlorite, or calcium hypochlorite as granular to make a concentration of 2 to 5 milligrams of chlorine inside the pool. The concentration is not so important, but it's important to get or to measure in this 2 weeks the chlorine, so that you not come at the 0 level of chlorine.
Okay, that means you fill in the water and right away you put in the chloride.
Yes.
And then during these 2 weeks, somebody should pass by and make a test if the level of the chloride is still okay.
Yeah.
And then if not, then somebody has to add something on top.
And you can do it with simple measure systems. You need not a complicated measure system. So.
Okay. And who's doing this? The tile layer or the architect, or is somebody from your company
I think
doing this?
Not really. Often, I think that could be a part of the beginning when all the experts come together to suggest you should do this. So
I mean, sometimes we know that the schedules of the construction site they change often.
Yeah.
And usually they tell us, well, could be 10 days also enough instead of 14 days. So we go this way, but sometimes there's something going wrong because the roof construction, whatever needs to be done first, and then the water is staying in there for 4, 6, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we get these big problems. That means the longer we have the water in the pool out of control, somebody has to check and make sure that everything, that the water will be clean or stays clean.
I think in public or in municipal pools, there is often the staff of the later owner of the pools beside the using, and so they can do it.
Okay.
They are experts for water treatment.
So, and what do we have to do when we have the problem now? We take the water out. What would be a recommendation of cleaning? I mean, we have like this smeary film on top of the concrete or on top of the membrane. And what would be a recommendation starting cleaning? Because we do not want to have the slime underneath the tile layer.
Yes. So after this, you know that is organic material, microbiological material, biological material. So to remove it, you use alkaline cleaners.
Okay.
Like I can show you one of this, or better this one. This is a cleaner which thickened by dilution. So it has better adhesion on the wall. So you can use an alkaline cleaner for this.
So the pH is like 13?
The pH is in the concentrate like 13 and is in the, I think, in ready to use at 10 or 10 and a half.
Okay. So that means we go in the pH very high and not very low, because this would harm also our cement-based products,
Yeah.
because mainly our cement-based slurries do not like acid so much, and we would destroy them right away if you use the wrong cleaner.
Yeah. That could be the result when you use an.
We see that later on
acid
when we
cleaner,
get to the end, when we come to the end cleaning. Sebastian, you have something else prepared next to our 14 days waterproofing test. What else could we do to see that the waterproofing system is okay?
Yeah. Technology is going further and further, and we have always new ideas. And we are very often asked about what can we do for the testing. Here the sound. Maybe I ask Björn to help me.
I see we have a new colleague, E-Man.
Yeah, the so-called E-Man. Yeah. Björn, my colleague from the project counseling department, he's helping me. They're doing a lot of pools and helping a lot of people on the construction site. And yeah, this is our Sopro eScan system. What is about the eScan? Yeah, people ask us, okay, do we really need the filling test? We say yes, because water is always the best thing to test the waterproofness of your waterproofing products. But if a filling test maybe fails, it takes a long time to find maybe leakages, or you have a lot of wastewater which you need to fill in again, costs a lot of money. So we thought about a system which makes everything more secure. And this is our Sopro eScan system. More or less, it's the same parts that we showed you already. There's only one layer in addition, and this is our conductive layer, which allows to test the whole system and these special copper tapes. And of course, we need Björn to test it with this special tool. Yeah, and this special tool is full of electric power. Yeah, it has a battery, and we have a high voltage. I think it's going up to 8,000 volts. We need to adjust this voltage to find the right resistance. That the voltage is not going through the waterproofing. We adjust more, then maybe it goes through. And then if we find a leakage and there's a hole in, the voltage can go into the conductive layer, into the copper tapes, and then the circle is round and we hear a noise, a warning noise, and then we know, okay, there's maybe a wrong point. Yeah, we show how to do it. The normal working steps, we start with the plastering, primering, then we glue the copper tapes, then the conductive layer is coming, then the waterproofing. And Björn, now you can start with your electric brush, copper brush, to test it. If you go to the copper tape, we have a direct, maybe should I touch it? No, better not. And we have a direct connection. The circle is closed. You see maybe this lightning, and yeah, the circle is closed. We have the noise. Same as the conductive layer. Yeah, this absorbs the tension. So it goes into the copper tape and then back to our tools, and then we have these really nice noise. Yeah, and then if we have the waterproofing, here we see the TDS cement-based waterproofing 2-component, 3 layers, 2.5 millimeters of thickness. It's also possible to have a good idea: is the thickness right or is it too thin? Because if it's too thin, the tension can go easily through. Yeah. So Björn, is it okay, or how can we test it? Yeah.
So
we go over with this brush. This is the simple measurement. If you're in the pool, you go over with this brush over all the surfaces, and if you hear nothing, everything is fine. Yeah, you can test. If you hear nothing, and you're maybe worried if the tool is not okay, just put it to the copper tape. You will see and hear the noise again. Yeah, and if there's a leakage, now here we are in 1 layer, so the voltage is so high that it can go through a too thin layer, and we have the noise again. Yeah, and I think it's a really good system. Helps us all to make the system more secure. And what else do we need to do? It's quite simple. The conductive layer is the secret, and the secret is just number 1, tile adhesive, which is our most used tile adhesive in the pool. We need it for substrate preparation, later on for the tiles, which we come to now or later. And we need this special liquid. It's called ELD 458, electric light dispersion. So this is a conductive material mixed into the number 1. Also here we have a 25 kilo bag, not the small package here. And instead of using water, we reduce the amount of water. The rest, the mixing is completely the same like using a normal tile adhesive. Yeah, so nothing special to consider. Everything is written on the data sheet, how much you need. And then you reduce a little bit of the water, mix it all together. Then you have your conductive layer, and the rest is simple and normal like we did before, but gets you a lot of more safety. It's also functional for the DSF RS, and it's also functional for the PU system, so you can combine those systems together. Quite interesting.
Okay, Sebastian, I think the very positive side of this system is that we do not destroy the waterproofing membrane, because usually we cut a piece out, which is not necessary here, and we really find every fine pore which could be in the floor or in the wall. So this could be a choice or an option for everybody who wants to have security, not just in the pool, also like for the shower areas.
All the showers, pool surroundings,
for
everywhere.
The pool surroundings. I mean, these are the areas actually where you cannot do a waterproofing test.
Yeah.
And this could be also.
Or you need a lot of water.
Or you need a lot of water. Okay. There's another questions about the sealing. Somebody was asking, do we use sealing tapes and sealing in the corners and sealing corners underwater?
Yeah. Not in general. No, normally not. Yeah. Normally we take the mesh. Yeah.
The mesh,
which we showed here for the details.
Yeah.
Only we take the waterproofing tapes, the red one, the AEB tape, the flexible one, when we have really a movement joint, or if we have critical cracks, like as I said, if you have a concrete block later on added, like concrete stairs, not connected, there will always be a crack by shrinkage. Maybe also for the bubbles where you lie on, also these blocks very often are later added. Then we do a tape around to get it waterproof, and then I recommend the TDS to fix and overwork the tapes or the polyurethane material. Or in some old pools, very old pools, they are sometimes separated in half in the middle. Then we have a movement joint in the middle, but it's not common anymore in the meantime. But in old pools, then we need a waterproofing tape as well.
Yeah, a question for this: when you have like old pools which are actually connected from 2 to 3 parts, or we have like parts or different parts in the pool, and when we have these movement joints, is just one bandage enough, or?
Then if it's really a structural thing and all the water pressure, then we recommend even more than we recommend 2 tapes over each other, overlapping each other. And because there's a lot of water pressure on top. Yeah, you think that the pool bottom has a structural joint. Yeah, the pool bottom is separated into 2 parts. Then we have 2 layers, and everything's glued together with polyurethane, waterproofing material, and then you're completely secure. But you need this secure and these additional working step. It's really important.
Good.
So we come back.
What we got now?
Now we want to have some tiles in the pool, I would say, and we need to talk about tiles and pool heads, of course. And here we come back to our because if we are on Wiesbaden, we talk about Wiesbaden pool systems, and but more or less all the pool systems, they need a capillary grout. Yeah, and this is filled in here to avoid water coming up. Because what you see here, normally the water level is like this. Yeah, here we have our water level. People are swimming, so the water level is much higher than here. So the water wants to go into the mortar below the tile, the channel tile, and wants to come out here. To show this, how this works, we have another sample, another model to show, and I think this is quite nice to look. Here would be our pool. So we fill this edge here with some water, nice blue water to swim in. Makes a lot of fun, but it's more visual, of course. You can see it much better. So this would be our pool surrounding area. And you see here, water's coming up, but here's epoxy. What's happening? What's wrong? What you did wrong, Anna? No, we did nothing wrong, or we did it wrong to show you if the grout is not capillary closed, then water is going, it's open for water. You see a lot of holes, a lot of pores, and then water is coming out. Yeah, same height like here. So it takes a little while to get in level, same level. So the water floats in. And if you're This is of course very bad, but if you have luck, the water goes in here. If you have bad luck, even better, worse luck, the water is flooding all the pool surrounding. Yeah, so this is not functional. Yeah, the
okay,
pool
that means
will go
resin
down.
was missing here
Yeah.
in this situation.
It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
resin was
very
missing, or maybe there were some insulation pieces or cement pieces in here. So only one piece is enough that water comes out. Yeah, so you need to work really, really exact. And if you work exact, we show in the other model, same water, blue water. Why is it blue? Yeah. And here we have the grout, which is okay. You see, maybe this would normally not be on site. It's just to show you the effect, of course. And also don't leave some pieces in here like silicone tubes or so. But here we have the right ratio. This is a resin material. You can take the same resin which you showed
actually
before.
the same mixture like here.
Yeah, a little bit less sand. So we do like 1 liter of resin and 1.5 liters of sand, because of the section is quite narrow, that it is even better to float in. In the German Tile Association, the recommendation is, or the guideline is, we need at least 5 centimeters of height of this grout to get everything closed. Here we have the silicone, so it comes out. Silicone is not waterproof. Yeah. So remove the, and here you can imagine what disaster can happen if there's a problem with this grout. Yeah. And this is Wiesbaden channel, but it also need to be considered for the Finnish tile channel and other. Every time when the water level is higher than your pool surrounding, you need to consider something about your capillary closed grout behind. How's that done? Yeah, Robert?
We have tiles like this. You see they're conical cutted
Yes.
to follow a curve, and we know that in curves we have a lot of pressure and tension inside.
If you have a rounded
of the
pool,
structure,
Yes.
If you have external or internal corner.
Yes.
So what do you recommend then in this case for curved parts? Because the ceramic can cover on the end each form on the end.
That's a good question.
So, but we know that especially in rounded parts, there's always a problem.
The capillary grout is always the critical part, because this method with the resin, BH, for example, it's really strong, really immense
like
power, but it's stiff. Yeah, it doesn't absorb any tensions or so, and therefore we developed another product or another solution, and this would be this one. This is our polyurethane waterproofing material. For the floor, we have 2 types. For walls, more sticky, and for floor, very liquid, just mixed with sand. And then you have a very liquid, a very flexible type of grout, type of joint, which absorbs tensions very good. Yeah, because you need to consider the pool, there's sun shining on, it heats up, there's a length growth, cold water comes in, and so there's always a movement. So we show you in this sample here how to do it. Of course, everything needs to be cleaned first. So the section needs to be clean. No cement particles. Very often we see some dirt or waste materials on the construction site. So this needs to be cleaned. And of course, this grout section needs to be filled before. Yeah? Otherwise, everything goes out. So we show you our polyurethane waterproofing. This is mixed here 1:1 by volume with our sand. QS 511, and you see it's very liquid. It floats everywhere. There's a hole, there's some voids, penetrates in all parts, and just fill it up to the pool surrounding. And another small detail which is important, the height here of the concrete needs also to be checked. As I said before, if it's too low, you need to fill this up, because then the grout will be too deep.
Do we have like a recommendation, especially when we have like organic pools, I would say?
I would recommend, as Robert said, every pool which is rounded, has a lot of corners, details, and all pools which are outside, they are stressed more by temperature, stress. Maybe also you need to consider about the shrinkage of the concrete. People always think the concrete is stable and doesn't move. That's wrong. Yeah, the concrete is alive and it moves and shrinks a little bit. And so for all these pools, I would recommend these PU capillary filling. I would say this is never wrong. Yeah, this is always the best thing to do because it's flexible and it absorbs the tensions. Yeah, and it's also very, very safe. Yeah. And then we need to talk about the tile itself. We need to talk about how to set the channel drains, how to set the tiles. Which tiles do we recommend, Robert? Maybe you have some. We talked already about the mosaics, and yeah, what's your favorite type of tile?
I prefer always ceramic tiles.
Of course, me too.
It's no, just one point addition to that.
Yeah.
It's important as well for the tiler that they check which kind of piece they use, because there are also pieces in the market they build up with rips. But according to the German guidelines, recommended is a full body material. Check that as well, because that creates another problem. But on the end, I recommend clearly tiles. Unimportant which dimension. I prefer in the meantime 25 by 50, which is the largest recommended size from our side. Also in the guidelines is written maximum 0.8 square meters of the tile. But we recommend 25 by 50. It works good because it fits in the grid size of the tile and of the pieces as well. And so we have no problems with the movement joints. For the colors, no idea about the colors.
To the
we have more than 100 different colors. I can tell you only one thing. At home, I can agree. That's all. So, and that's the reason why I say nothing about.
But you have a nice bunch of colors which you can.
But important is also that this is the big advantage of ceramic, that we offer a lot of colors in different slip resistant classifications.
Yes.
So we need regular tiles without slip resistant. We need B for non-swimmer areas, deck areas, C for the stairs, but on the end in the same color.
If the architect or owner have a question, which type of tile slip resistance do I need? You can help them.
We always give our recommendations according to the European standard for the safety requirements of swimming pools and as well the German guidelines.
Very good. Yeah. And we take care that the tiles stay where they are and not going off anymore.
Hopefully.
So to summarize this, we have a different choice of materials to fix on the tiles. Normally our first choice is the number one. Small bucket, as I told you, it's also available in the big one, 25 kilos. Number one is our most sold tile adhesive, very universal. We take this in normal private areas, but it's our first choice also for the pools, because it has a very long open time, very easy to work with. But one thing to consider, it's a normal setting tile adhesive, so it needs time to dry out. The cement needs to get hard, water which is mixed in the cement needs to dry out. So we recommend after fixing the tiles to let dry for 21 days in the pools. And of course we need buttering floating method, so notch trowel tile adhesive on the substrate, you can use this for walls and floors, and notch trowel adhesive on the back side of the tile, so buttering floating method. We just show you this one while Arne is applying some tiles on the wall. You see it's a nice smooth material. I remove this type of material that you have more space to work. Just to come to this one, this is our MDM 888. This is a more rougher version, I would say, of the number one. It's fast setting and more rougher, so it's very good to adjust the channel tiles or handrails every time where you need a little more thickness.
Stop. Can we see this detail now on the camera?
Maybe we can switch over.
That it is important that on both sides we have enough adhesive, and then you connect the tile into the adhesive.
With the number one, that's a flexible tile adhesive. So the C2 S1, this can be used for pool concrete surfaces or concrete edges up to if it's older than 6 months. Very important that we don't have too much shrinkage. Take care for the right grout dimensions, please. We are here in real life. And if you need a very special material, we have also another one, which is Sopro Megaflex TX. We have this also as a turbo version for floors. This is an S2 adhesive. Maybe you can get this one into the picture, the Megaflex. And this is our cement-based, but two-component with liquid polymers, which is possible to use if the concrete is a little bit younger. This is also our first choice because it's very flexible. It absorbs the tensions, and this is also our first choice in outside areas. Very, very frost resistant and really because of the liquid polymer, it is very waterproof itself. So the frost has no chance in outside areas. Yeah. And also we have number one silver, maybe for if you have natural stones to fix on. Yeah. So a good choice of material. All is the same that you need to check for and really take good care for buttering floating method. So tile adhesive on both sides is very important.
At the end, Sebastian, could you quickly say something about the grout and the joints?
Yeah, the grout. Because of the time, we don't show the grout now, but yeah, the grout is up to also the water quality. Our first choice is here also to work with our high strength cement grout, Titec grout, HF grout, which is really, really strong. This is our weapon. I would say this product makes us in the past becoming big in the pool business because people really like this grout and took this grout in advantage of epoxy. Yeah, because it's, even if it's cement based, it's very high, highly strong, has a really big abrasion force and really strong for pools. Only if you have really cement aggressive water, again salt water, then we take epoxy adhesive and an epoxy grout like our FEP Plus, which is also sometimes used if you have very high class mosaics or stuff like that. Yeah. So this is the two choices: Titec, depending on the water quality, or the epoxy grout for special water qualities.
Well, thank you, Sebastian. Now we need Dirk and Robert again, because now we are coming to the end and we fill in the water. The first person is coming for swimming and the water is not clear. What is to do? What do we have to do?
The first step is to start the water treatment and then to use the right chemicals.
Okay.
The pools are not only chlorinated; they are all, the most important part is the filtration.
Okay.
So to get all particles, all turbidity, all colloids out of the water. And normally we use sand in different types. Often now we use also as a upper layer, we need activated carbon to remove such compound that you cannot filtrate, and to get a better filtration, you use a flocculant. A flocculant makes flocks, and in this flocks, the dirt, the dust, the organic matter will be catched. So I will try to show you an experiment. I hope it will work. We have here a little bit coal powder inside, and we gave now an flocculant inside. And first of all, we need high dynamic, so that you get
so this would happen actually in the filter, right?
Not before the filter, in the tube.
Okay.
And maybe you can use the pump to mix it, and then this solution goes to the filter. And when you see a little bit later, you can see flocks. And this flocks will stay in the filter bed. So
okay, so the dirt will
catch out. So
okay,
and
great.
The better the filtration works, you need less chlorine to purify the water.
So it's also very important that the machinery, which is important for the cleaning process of the swimming pool water, is also in a very good condition.
Yes, that's true. And also it is very important that you have the right pH range for the chlorination and for the flocculation, and the right range is 6.5 to 7.5.
Okay, okay. Robert, we have here 3 different tiles. You already said something about slippery.
Yes.
I mean, slippery is one side, but when I think about cleaning, the better the slippery is, the worse is the cleaning process.
Yeah.
So what do we have to do here?
There is always a discussion, because you want to have safe tiles on one side, because nobody should slip away, no accidents should happen.
I would say this one
So
is very
on the other
rough.
side, you want to have an easy cleaning as well.
Yes.
But the most saw that maybe in when they compare the tiles, oh, they have the same slip resistant range, but they are different in the roughness. So because you have a range where you, in the description of the slip resistant, and some producers go a little bit higher, some go a little lower, but on the end you fulfill the range. But clear is that the big advantages of the ceramic that you can cover nearly all parts in the right slip resistant and in all nearly colors. But on the other side, we see more and more in the meantime that some architects choose slip resistant class C on the deck, which is not easy to clean. And it's just only a wetted paper. You see, this is a regular tile, nothing happens. This is class B. Oh, you see, we lost a lot of the paper, the wetted paper, and then it comes to class C, and you see how rough it is.
Okay.
But it is rough, but more rough means on the other side more energy to clean.
Yes.
And
So
this
you have special tools for this?
Yes, we have special tools for this, and sometimes when the water quality is not good, as I say, for this, then you get deposits of minerals, and then you need very, very strong cleaners that something like this that takes more than 6 hours to remove such deposits. So that's a disadvantage of the roughness. So the constructor should depend from rough materials or from good cleaning materials. So
okay, I see here your samples, cement-based samples.
yes.
And what I see here is don't overdo it with your cleaning materials.
So when you clean a surface, and you want to remove lime scale, for example, the cleaner cannot make difference between the lime scale on the tile and the lime scale in the joint. So you have to flush it before with water, so you get a dilution in the joint.
Okay, so that's also a very important step before starting cleaning, wetting everything, so that the joint itself is already full of water.
Especially when you use an acid cleaner.
Okay. Now I can see here some of the flocks.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's
okay,
true.
This would be the effect, so that the dirt which somebody brings in when he goes into the water and swims would be catched out. Okay, thank you very much. Robert, from you, a last word for the tiles. I mean,
just 1 second. This is just an important point, because we, as a producer as well, we have upgrade surfaces on the tiles. Our system is high-tech, it's an easy cleaning, antibacterial, but as the name already implies, it's an easy cleaning material. It's not a miracle that nothing is to clean. That's an important point. So we have to clean it, and therefore we need these materials.
Okay, thank you very much, you three. That was a perfect job. Thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, time is over already, and the 60 minutes were gone like this. Well, I hope we did something which you can use for your construction sites tomorrow and in the future. And well, if you have any more questions, the chat is still on. Give us some feedback, because we also are learning in how to present each other. And if you have some good advices and tips, we would be happy to get them from you. On the other side, I wish you all the best wherever you are at the moment. Stay healthy in these Corona times, and I hope we will have a choice soon to come together and be able to fly again and meet you wherever you are to help you in your projects. And thanks for watching us today. And like I said, if you have any more questions, get in contact with us, also with our experts. from the different fields, and we will help you that you have a nice solution for your pool, and you will have a lot of fun with your partner who is owning the pool. And well, stay healthy. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. See you next time. Bye-bye.